You must stay at home.
Everyone is being very serious about the coronavirus, and I actually can't.
January is an awful month. In January 2020, I uploaded a video titled "Why January is the Worst Month," and I had no idea that it would probably be one of the last normal months in quite some time. Hello, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Sinead, and in this video I'm going to take a look back at my 2020 and how my life changed due to a global pandemic. It started off as any other New Year's does, getting blackout drunk and not really remembering much the next day. And to be fair to my past self, it was quite a boring month, but back then I did not know the true meaning of boredom. I hung out with my friends and just got on with life. The coronavirus really was not a worry to me back then. February was probably the most normal month of the entire year. I started off the month by going to Louis Tomlinson's album signing, and I even went to a gig. It's crazy to think that just a month later we went into a full-blown lockdown. Then a couple weeks after that I went to VidCon. During that weekend we went to the O2 Arena where some of the last concerts of the year were happening, and we had no idea. I was getting to meet so many of my favourite creators.
Subscribe to Shauna Sheep because she's class.
Wow.
Hi! What one to do?
And getting to spend time with my long distance friends.
Ellie the banker. I was actually just stood on the tube on my own.
I'm really scared because it's quite windy.
Very windy.
And despite complaining about the event, I'm so grateful we had it because it ended up being one of the best memories of 2020. And on the very last day of February, we celebrated one of my friend's 21st birthdays. So I started March with a big fat hangover, which kind of foreshadowed how the month was going to turn out.
And many more families are going to lose loved ones before their time.
Now, I think we are all aware that March is where things started to go downhill. On the 1st of the month, there were just 36 cases in the UK, and 2 weeks later, there were over 500. On the 11th of March is when the World Health Organization declared it a global pandemic.
A global pandemic, and the number of cases will rise sharply.
To me, it just didn't seem real.
Guys, everyone is being very serious about the coronavirus, and I actually can't take it seriously.
I was watching the news as if it was a movie, but then on the 23rd of March, Boris Johnson announced a national lockdown.
You must stay at home.
So, of course I did what everyone else seemed to be doing, and I dyed my hair pink.
I actually have pink hair.
And then began the weekly claps. Every Thursday at 8 PM. And soon after that, the Zoom quizzes, which really tested my general knowledge. 21st birthday in self-isolation be like.
This is gonna be the weirdest birthday vlog ever.
Yeah. I had my 21st birthday during a national lockdown, and I know there are much worse things that could have happened to me, but this was meant to be my biggest birthday yet, and it was just cancelled. But I'm so grateful that I have such amazing friends who are willing to spend their evening with me doing a little Zoom quiz, because it honestly made my birthday so much better than it was going to be. The rest of the month was extremely repetitive. I ran every other day, I sunbathed, I drank whipped coffee. I was honestly thriving. May was just the same, but with a few more barbecues, and the weather was just not something to complain about.
Take a chance on me. Loving, had me up last.
In June, I returned returned to work, the weather was still lovely. I was meeting friends in parks for picnics and having drinks in people's gardens, and it felt like life was kind of starting to return to normal. And July, things just kept getting better. I redecorated my room, which is a really fun project to work on. I visited Brighton for the first time in over a year. I got to hang out with my friends loads and even see family. It was definitely a high point of the year. August was probably the most normal life I'd felt in a long time. I was finally able to step back into the O2 Arena, and even though it wasn't for a concert, it was so nice to be back. I went to Topgolf for the first time and I loved it, and I got to hang out with my friends loads. And to top all off, at the end of the month, I got to reunite with Liam Payne. So then the schools reopened, and of course the cases of coronavirus started to rise. However, Amy and I booked a trip to Brighton and the weather was absolutely incredible. I'm so glad we had that trip because it turned out to be one of my best memories of 2020, and after that is when things started to go downhill again. Or should I say uphill, because as I said, the cases started to go back up, but the government didn't really seem to care, so I just kind of carried on with life as normal. I went into London, hung out with some of my 1D pals. At the end of the month, I even went on a date and went to Spoons a couple times, but that was very short-lived because on Halloween, Boris Johnson announced that the UK was going to go into a month-long lockdown.
Alternative. And from Thursday until the start of December, you must stay at home. You may only leave.
So right at the beginning of the month, before lockdown came into place, I went on a second date to Topgolf, and then on the 5th of November, I started working from home again. So that brings us to the final month of 2020. Everything reopened for 2 weeks until the government realised it was a terrible idea letting everyone out of lockdown just before Christmas. Who would have thought? But during that time, before tier 4/lockdown and everything came into place, I did get to go to the pub, and that was really fun. Christmas was just below average, and because of lockdown, I won't lie, my mental health started to go downhill. So it wasn't really a great ending to the year, but overall, looking back, I wouldn't say that it was a totally awful year. 2020 made me realise how important it is to spend time with your loved ones and to really appreciate that time, because you never know when a global pandemic's going to stop you from seeing them. It's made me super grateful for the friends I do have who have kept me going right from the start, and I just cannot wait until I can properly hug them and spend good quality time with the people I care about. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I really hope you have enjoyed it, and I hope that it's kind of given you some time to reflect upon your year and just realise that there were some positives to 2020, even though it did seem like the worst year ever. Stay positive, things are going to get better, we can get through this. Thanks for watching, bye!